Welcome to Being Allan Sherwood, the comedy podcast from Princess Toy Nerd Studios. Prepare yourself for a journey into the hilariously chaotic world of Allan Sherwood, where no topic is off limits and the absurdity is dialed up to 11. From awkward social observations to surreal daily mishaps, you're guaranteed to get a good laugh. Fair warning, this show is rated PG-13 for occasional strong language and discussions of some adult-related topics. So, grab your snacks, get comfortable, and get ready to experience the world through the very unique lens of Allan Sherwood.
Thank you! Thank you so much! Wow! It's nice to see this many people gathered voluntarily, as I have something important to tell you. But I won't keep you too long. Don't want Sleepy Joe snoring through the show. Because last month, I tried to gather with 4 friends to celebrate something known as Palentine's Day, which is less about romance and more about friendship. And the universe looked me in the eye and said, "Not today, Allan." Now for those of you who don't know what Palentine's Day is. It's Valentine's Day, but with friends. Because romance is expensive. And friends already know your red flags.
Huh?
So, this year I thought, no Barbie. No Ken. No dramatic candlelit chaos. Just me and my emotionally stable friends. What else do I even need? Spoiler alert! None of us are emotionally stable. And that's too bad, because here's what happened on my Palentine's Day celebration. So, who did I invite to go with me on this adventure? Fiyero, Elphaba, Glinda, and Nessarose. Yes! I accidentally planned Valentine's Day with the entire emotional triangle of Oz. That's not a dinner party. That's unresolved tension with appetizers. And I'm like poor Dorothy Gale who got dropped into this situation. Glinda shows up glowing. Literally glowing. She moisturizes like it's a competitive sport. Barbie doesn't have anything on her, if we're being honest. Next, Elphaba arrives in all black, which is her version of festive. Maybe I'm crazy, but red would so clash with her green skin. Fiyero walks in like he's in a cologne commercial, with the wind in his hair. There is no wind. Why do attractive men generate their own breeze? Like, how is that even possible? And Nessarose? She's sweet, calm, observant. Watching us like this is a social experiment. She was right. This Palentine's Day is her social experiment. The plan was simple. We were going to the movies to watch a romantic comedy. Eat popcorn. In emotional safety. You know, light flirting with fictional characters so nobody has to deal with real feelings. We buy tickets. We get snacks. The lights dim. And instead of soft piano music, what did we get? An explosion. And it was not a cute explosion. Instead, it was a loud, someone definitely violated several international laws explosion. Apparently, the theater had accidentally swapped reels. Like, hello, we're here to watch Love is EVOL spelled backwards. We did not sign up for Fast and Furious 19, Wizard Drift. Glinda leans over and whispers, "Oh, maybe it's a metaphorical romance?" "No, Glinda! That man just threw a motorcycle at a helicopter. There's nothing romantic about this." Elphaba mutters, "At least something in this room has chemistry." And I sink lower into my seat in shame. Look, Elphaba, I hate to say it, but there's no chemistry in this movie. It's so boring that it should have been voted dumbest movie to watch on Valentine's Day. Fiyero, of course, is enjoying it. Because it has fighting. And leather jackets. And reckless decisions. He calls it cinematic tension. I call it we are in the wrong theater. But does he care? No!
Huh?
20 minutes in, the screen freezes. Manager walks in. She says, "Sorry folks, we're canceling the show." Canceling. Not fixing. Canceling. On Valentine's Day. That's bold. And also, kind of sad.
Aww.
It's fine. We pivot. Adults pivot. It happens all the time. Anyway, we head to a cute little restaurant. Candles. Soft music. The kind of place where water costs $12 because it's infused with pearls. Not the type of place for people like us. But we went there anyway.
Wait, what?
We sit down. I think to myself, this is it. We're saved. And then, chaos. Now let me say this carefully and respectfully. A large group sea of people came in. And they were enthusiastic. Very enthusiastic. And very competitive. Not the type of people to be associating with at all. So, here we are, Fiyero, Elphaba, Nessarose, Glinda, and I are at some fancy restaurant dining on tiny pieces of food served on giant plates. Not the type of restaurant that I would want to go to whenever I'm being the third wheel of a Barbie and Ken date. But somewhere between appetizers and entrees, a bread roll flew. Then another. Then mashed potatoes achieved orbit. This is not cool.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
It was less dinner service and more medieval card warfare. As in, those people clearly didn't get the memo of you shouldn't be throwing food around in public. If you can't behave in public, then you can't go out at all. The staff tried to intervene. They went to the table in question and politely asked the leaders to please control your people. The other guests are reporting that their behavior is making them uncomfortable. They did not win. In fact, the leaders accused them of being insensitive and the other guests of being intolerable of other people's behavior. I mean, if asking people to tone down their childish behavior is intolerable, then I don't want to go out in public anymore. At one point, Glinda caught a roll midair. She whispered, "I've trained for this." "Why have you trained for this?" I mean, what exactly have you trained for? Is catching stray rolls part of being known as Glinda the Good?
Huh?
Elphaba looked almost impressed. Fiyero ducked like this was a sequel to the action movie that we just watched. Nessarose calmly said, "Well, this escalated." Yes. Yes, it did. And do I like it? Nope.
Wait, what?
And the manager? He comes out, saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are closing for the evening due to this unfortunate chaos." Of course you are. Why wouldn't you? It's Palentine's Day. And does anyone care? Nope. No, they do not. And at this, Fiyero, Elphaba, Glinda, Nessarose, and I stood up and said the only 2 words that could save this evening. Check, please. Fine. We'll go casual. In fact, we all agreed to go to Starbucks. Why Starbucks? Starbucks never fails. Starbucks is dependable. Starbucks is chaos with foam. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Here's how the story goes. We walk in. Line is out the door. Everyone looks stressed. There's a couple arguing over almond milk. That's how you know romance is fragile. As in, there's no way that Midge and I would dare argue in public. And especially over almond milk either.
Huh? Wait, what?
I order something simple. Tall mocha. The barista says, name? I say, Allan. She writes, Allan. This is personal. Not to mention insulting. How is this my life?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Glinda orders something that sounds like a spell. Elphaba orders black coffee. Of course. Fiyero orders something with double shot. Also of course. Nessarose gets tea. She's the calmest person in Oz. I guess the stories about her being known as the Wicked Witch of the East are nothing more than a bunch of lies concocted by misogynistic jerks. Then the machine breaks. There's steam everywhere. Barista shows up and announces, due to an unexpected breakdown, we are no longer making hot drinks. It's February. That's the only reason we're here. This is such a disappointment.
Aww.
So, we're now standing outside. Cold. Hungry. Emotionally confused. And Glinda says, well, this was memorable. Memorable is not the goal. Successful was the goal. But did we actually succeed? Did we? Fiyero says, at least we were together. That's sweet. Suspiciously sweet. So sweet that it should be illegal.
Huh? Wait, what?
At this, Glinda squeals with delight. Elphaba nods. Nessarose smiles. And as for me, I just realized something. You know what this chaotic, cancelled, food fight, caffeine-denied Palentine's Day was? Peaceful. Believe it or not, the day was actually peaceful. And you want to know why? Because as disastrous as it was, no one was comparing rose bouquets. No one was competing over candle aesthetics. No one was making Valentine's Day into a relationship Olympics. Besides, the real-life Olympics are much better than romantic competition.
Huh? Wait, what?
And most importantly, I was not stuck at a candlelit dinner with Barbie and Ken. Because let me tell you something. Being the third wheel to Barbie and Ken on Valentine's Day? That's not a holiday. That's a psychological study in needless pain. As in, Ken would be flexing at the breadsticks. Barbie would be describing the aesthetic of love. And I'd be sitting there thinking, is it too late for me to join a monastery? See what I mean? So yeah, Palentine's Day was chaos. It was canceled movies that didn't fit the occasion. Flying dinner rolls you somehow knew how to catch. Emotionally aggressive espresso machines that break down right before you're about to order. But it was ours. And sometimes that's better than perfect. And despite all the disasters, I must admit that spending Palentine's Day with Fiyero, Elphaba, Glinda, and Nessarose is infinitely better than spending another useless Valentine's Day with Barbie and Ken. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Thank you for watching this episode of Being Allan Sherwood. This episode, along with all its content, is the exclusive property of Princess Toy Nerd Studios and is protected by copyright law. It may not be reproduced, re-uploaded, re-edited, or distributed in any form without the express written permission of the studio. To catch more hilarious episodes, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes fun, please subscribe to our channel and follow Princess Toy Nerd Studios on all social media platforms. We'll see you next time with another episode of Being Allan Sherwood.
Meow.